my background's in art. I switched over pretty early to like production. Basically, I was an artist, but my passion was to helping other artists do their thing even better. So I became an outsource manager, and that basically means like if you're an art director, I help you find awesome artists all over the world to help make your product.
All right.
So now I've been working, so I did outsourcing for DC Universe Online. I did outsourcing for Overwatch. I helped Blizzard set up their first outsourcing team, which is kind of crazy. That blows my mind to this day, to see the stuff we did in Overwatch. And then I joined Riot. I was helping other outsource managers. So I looked back and said, what was the help that I would want back then on Overwatch? I tried to be that help for the team, for the outsource managers at Riot. So my big passion is helping everyone in the industry. So helping people that make art, helping people that need art, helping connect them, making sure that workflow is awesome and better. So what I've done now, so I'm not at Riot anymore, and I am basically just a freelance consultant to help anyone in the industry improve making art together. So the short answer is both.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really, so there's outsource managers are starting to become a more common thing. And because teams, the games that we're building are so big, you can't hire, like even if you wanted to hire all those people in LA, you just couldn't. There's not enough people that would want to move to LA that you need to build the game. So you need to work with people all over the world. And to do that well, you need an outsource manager to sort of find the people, to manage that process and make sure it's going well. So anyway, to back up to the question, which comes first? Sometimes I would go out and I would find someone. I'd be like, hey, you're really good at making cars. I need a bunch of cars made. Or hey, you're really good at making particle effects or cinematics or whatever. Like, I found you on ArtStation or I found you on Polycount or whatever. Like, hey, you should come work for us. And then sometimes it's at events like this where someone approaches me and just says, hey, like with an iPad, and like, here's my portfolio, check it out. I'm like, holy cow, that's really good. And I've got a project that I think would be perfect for you. And so I think it's really just about meeting everyone that has passion, that has talent, and then just putting it in a record and just holding on to that and then waiting for an art director to come to you and say, hey, we need help with this. And you sort of look in your address book and you say like, all right, I got some people that can handle that. I want to mention just because I think it was hilarious. Like when I first started my job at Blizzard, I was trolling ArtStation and Polycount and whatever, and I would bump into an awesome artist and I'd be like, holy shit, this is the perfect person for us. They should work for us right now. And I'd do 5 more minutes of research and I'm like, oh, they're on the World of Warcraft team already. Damn it. Damn it. They're already here. And then literally that happened twice in 1 week and I'm like, oh, that's the lead character artist for World of Warcraft, cool. Damn it, okay, well, I guess I'll have to find someone else then. You know? It was just funny to like bump into people that are already at the company where it's like, okay, my job has to continue because that person is already here, so find someone else. But it's cool, you know, sometimes you get recommendations from like, hey, I went to school with an awesome concept artist, like they could do stuff for us, that's great, that works out awesome. Sometimes it's finding them on Polycount, ArtStation, GDC, Level Up, wherever. Sometimes I approach them, sometimes they approach me. I think it's really just about as long as you're the most badass person at that thing that you do, you'll have work. I mean, I think it truly is a lot of the stuff that I cover in the talk, but it's basically about like what we do is creative, and creative stuff is hard because it's exciting and you want to change it all the time. And I've seen projects change just because it's an old decision. So they'll have an old decision and it'll be like, hey, we're going to change it just to change it. It's like, oh, don't do that, don't do that. So I think the challenge is to make a decision, stick to it, and get the product out the door. And so I think the challenge is in your heart and in your mind as a gamer is releasing a product that's not perfect. You know you can make it better, but release it. Get it out to the players, man. Let the players decide. They'll tell you. You know, you may think that you wanted to make more character skins or better guns, and you put the game out there and they go like, nope, love the skins, love the guns, we hate the characters, whatever. So I think it's really, to me, I think I've seen it a few times where it's just ship the game. Don't be afraid to ship a B+ game, because what you think is B+, the players might think is A+. Yes. Yeah, the short answer is absolutely. I mean, every game studio's got a different culture. Every studio's got a different, and even the type. It was interesting. So we'll take Blizzard and Riot as an example. I mean, both are awesome companies. Both are great groups of developers. Riot makes competitive games, period. The challenge for me was, I don't know if I'm a competitive gamer. And so to me, coming to the company, like the decisions that I would, luckily, like I wasn't in charge of any like creative decisions to make the games. But like, if I was, my decisions would have been, let's make the game more fun. When really, the kind of games that Riot makes is like, let's make it more competitive. Like, there was one moment where it's like, we want people to almost rage quit after every game. I'm like, you're crazy. Why would you want to do that? But that's what makes it exciting for competitive players. I'm just not that person. So it was challenging to me to like sort of adapt and go, oh wait, that is what the players want. And go, okay, because you really have to sort of shut off your own, if you're that player and you click with that, fantastic. But in a lot of situations, you have to sort of shut down your inner gamer and go, what does our players want? What do we have to listen to them? And so at Blizzard, and Blizzard is much more about like, let's make it fun, and if it's accidentally competitive and we can help make it a little more competitive, sure, but like, it should be fun. It needs to be fun. And that's the type of game that Blizzard makes. Sony makes different games. Activision makes different kind of games, right? Like, some are narrative driven, some are competitive, some are just like, toys that you play with. Like, Overwatch isn't necessarily a story game, it has a backstory, but it's really about the toy of getting into the arena and just battling it out, right? Like, I don't have to know any fantasy to have fun playing that. And every decision that I saw the designers make, it was about like, how can we make this game more fun? Let's see. I have to be careful here because I don't know what's public. Okay. There was stuff we learned. Basically, like, we learned a lot, and I think what it was is like, the game that Titan wasn't fun. So why should we keep making a game that's not fun? Let's make a game that's fun. There are parts of that game that are fun. Let's take those and let's keep those, and let's not make a game around that, but like, let's include those in this other game that became Overwatch, right? So yeah, there's tons of changes, right? But there was parts of that were fun. The entire game wasn't fun, but yeah, you take the fun parts, lose the rest, keep those, tweak them a bit, and then make so. The short answer is, was stuff kept? Yes. Was stuff changed? Absolutely. Because you're making a different game, but we did find some of the fun, and I think that's the challenge of designers, right? Is finding that toy, that thing you can pick up, and you play it, and you push the buttons, and it feels good, right? You use the gun, and it feels satisfying, right? You tweak the damage balance, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, this is amazing, right? There was some fun in Titan, and they kept that. But yeah, they balanced it and they tweaked it and they changed it, and for sure. I mean, even now, like, the Mercy changes in Overwatch, like, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. They're doing that in hopes that the game is more fun, right? Yeah. So imagine, but you draw a line like old Mercy, new Mercy. This is a new game. That's kind of what happened with Titan, I guess. Where it's like, yeah, there's some fun stuff, but it could be better. It could be different. We want to go a different direction because we think it's more fun overall. So yeah, they changed it, and hopefully it's better. Oh man, so I wasn't involved in any design, so my thing is just helping, right? Okay. So it's like, hey, we want to make a Zenyatta skin. It's like, hell yeah, like, and I'll toss in little ideas about like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he had like the thing here, and maybe they change the shoulder blade because I tossed in an idea over lunch. Yeah, I mean, anyone could toss in ideas, right? And they could, but to me, the fun one was actually, I think they talked about it. To me, the exciting moment was when we announced the box. There was 5 characters, I think, on the poster. 2 of them were outsourced. 2 of them were done through my team. So the knight, the dark, the Widowmaker, the one that she looked like she was out of the Matrix. Reaper's gun, it was tweaked a lot internal, but the original Reaper's gun was actually outsourced. So they did some tweaks on it, but that was kind of fun because it was like, oh my God, like we did Reaper's weapon, like holy shit, like that's it. It's kind of stupid, but it's exciting for me that like just going around the levels, every single prop is done through my team. And that's exciting to just walk around like every book, every chair, every table, and in Cairo, this is the one that gets me. The first ever asset we ever outsourced was the metal bucket in Cairo. Wow. So if you ever go in Cairo and you look at that little metal bucket, and any artist, any game development artist would look at that and be like, I could do that in an afternoon. We spent a month on that. Wow. Funny story is, in the first year of Overwatch, of outsourcing, so we started Overwatch, and then the first year, like they were building assets and the team was going crazy, and then I was like planning and prepping and meeting people and meeting the teams and putting documents together. We had 0 shippable assets after the first year. Wow. So I worked my ass off all year, 0 shippable assets first year, but I did a lot of structural setup. Year 2, 400 assets. And we were able to do this 400 assets because of all the planning work. So man, that was a scary, awkward first year because I don't have anything to show for all the work I did, but all the work I did helped make the second year successful, helped make the third year successful, and on, right? And then we were doing so well, I was able to go to the animators and say, hey animators, wouldn't it be cool if we did like an emote? We outsourced an emote, and they're like, we will never outsource animation, never. And I was like, you sure? Wouldn't it be cool if we like tried like one? We tried one, and they're like, can we try another one? And I was like, yeah, we can try another one. Yeah. And then we did a second one, and they're like, can we do a batch of 5? Is that cool? Is that a thing? And I'm like, yeah, we can do a batch of 5. You know, and when I describe it, it didn't go perfectly, right? Like we had challenges and we had to iterate and all that sort of stuff, but like it worked. And the coolest part to me is to take someone on the development team that's like, we will never do this thing, to like, can we do more? Can we do a little bit more? Just a little bit? That was exciting. Word of advice, what to expect. All right, yeah, so for any Malaysian game development, anyone that wants to get into game development in Malaysia, I don't know, the best thing I can tell you is that like, it's a real thing, like, you know, it's a real job. You know, it is a great industry. It is a super amazing creative industry. It is fast paced, it is intense. If you love making art, and if you love being sort of being part of a creative process, if you love jamming with people about, you know, what shape a door is or what shape a character is, it's a thing. And there are schools out there that can help you learn awesome process. We live in a world where there's so many tutorials out there to help you learn on your own. And even here in Malaysia, there's so many talented studios for you to get your foot in the door with. You know, there's a ton of studios here that you can approach and that I know that are out there looking for people just like you. So I would say, you know, keep your eyes open. You know, go to ArtStation, go to PolyCount, make sure, you know, make art that's the best that you can make it. Connect with your peers at local universities, and talk to the local industry people here. I know that they would love to help, and then just keep making art, man. It's fun. Like this, it's a great industry. Come on in. Like it's I don't know what to say. That it's a blast, and the more creative, awesome, talented people we have, the better. You know, here in Malaysia and all over the world. So.